Constitutional failure. The outrageous protection of power over people. Listen closely. Folks, this is the kind of madness that keeps me up at night, and it should fire you up too. Right there in our sacred Constitution, the blueprint for this great nation, are the exact tools designed to boot out a leader like Donald Trump, who has trampled on power limits, stirred up endless division, and now sits back while federal agents unleash violence on innocent American civilians right in our neighborhoods. But instead of using those tools, the so-called guardians of law and order are clapping like seals at a show. Politicians from every corner, judges in their robes, the whole creaky machinery of government, they fold like cheap lawn chairs when it's time to hold him to account. It thrills them, pumps them full of that intoxicating sense of dominance. If these power brokers had even a shred of real concern for regular folks like you and me, Trump would have been history ages ago, and his entire crew of enablers right along with him. This isn't just a glitch, it's a full-blown betrayal, and we're all paying the price. Let me lay this out step by step, crystal clear, so you can wrap your head around the sheer hypocrisy and see how deep this rot goes. Start with the basics. Our Constitution isn't some dusty old book. It's a living promise of checks and balances to keep any one person from turning into a king. Impeachment is baked right into it, spelled out in Article Roman 2, Section 4. It says loud and clear, "The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors." That's not vague lawyer talk. It's a direct command to Congress to act when a leader goes rogue. We've watched this play out not once, but multiple times with Trump. During his first stint in office, he faced impeachment twice, once for twisting arms on foreign leaders to dig up dirt on political rivals, and again for lighting the fuse on the January 6th insurrection that turned the Capitol into a battlefield. The proof was stacked sky-high. Phone calls, rallies, outright calls to fight like hell that led to chaos and death. Yet when it hit the Senate floor where conviction and removal happen, the votes fizzled. Republicans blocked it, sure, but don't kid yourself, some Democrats played it safe too, worried about rocking the boat. Why the failure? Simple. Chaos is currency in Washington. It keeps the spotlight on them, fattens their campaign war chests from big donors who thrive on division, and cranks up the fear that keeps voters loyal and scared. Without that removal, the abuses didn't stop. They multiplied, setting the stage for the nightmare we're living now. Now, flip to another page in that same Constitution, the 25th Amendment. This isn't some afterthought. It's a deliberate shield crafted after years of fretting over what happens if a president cracks under pressure or loses touch with reality. Ratified in 1967, it stepped in to fill gaps left by vague old rules, especially after tragedies like the Kennedy assassination raised alarms about leadership vacuums. Section 4 is the powerhouse here. It lets the vice president, backed by a majority of the cabinet or a congressional body, step up and say, "Hey, the boss can't handle this anymore," shifting duties to the VP until things stabilize. It's meant for moments of clear unfitness, like mental instability or reckless decisions that endanger the nation. With Trump, the signs were screaming. Wild tweets in the dead of night, conspiracy rants that divided families, and a refusal to accept facts that led straight to violence. Fast forward to today, and it's even worse. His influence lingers, pushing policies where federal agents shoot unarmed civilians under the guise of enforcement. Cabinet folks saw it all, from the erratic demands to the dangerous alliances, yet they zipped their lips. Congress could have formed a body to trigger it, but no one pushed hard enough. Everyone just shrugged and let it slide. Why? Because invoking the 25th would shatter the illusion of stability, expose the cracks in their own parties, and risk the wrath of a base hooked on the drama. It's not that they couldn't, it's that they wouldn't. That amendment sits there like a fancy ornament on a shelf, gathering dust while real lives hang in the balance. And boy, are we feeling the consequences in 2026. Here we are, staring down a reality where federal agents from immigration and customs enforcement are turning American streets into war zones. Minneapolis is the epicenter of this horror show, but it's spreading like wildfire. Picture this: unarmed civilians gunned down in broad daylight during routine encounters or protests against over-the-top immigration raids. Take Renee Good. She was just an everyday woman trying to shift her car out of the way when agents opened fire, hitting her multiple times without a clear threat. Then there's Alex Jeffrey Preddy, a hardworking ICU nurse who pulled out his phone to record what looked like shady agent behavior, a right we all have in public spaces. Next thing, he's surrounded, beaten down, and shot dead, with videos showing no weapon drawn or attack launched. These families are shattered, communities terrified of faceless, masked officers who swoop in without badges or warrants, blocking local cops from investigating and turning the spotlight on the victims instead. This isn't random bad luck. It's the poison fruit of a leadership mindset that brands anyone questioning authority as an enemy. From the top, orders fly to use whatever force is necessary. Against so-called agitators, threats of invoking the Insurrection Act to flood cities with troops if protests don't bow down, and a Justice Department that probes the dead rather than the shooters. Call it what it is, not protection, but a power play masquerading as patriotism, eroding our freedoms one bullet at a time. The kicker: the whole system is in on it, lapping it up like it's the best thing since sliced bread. Right-wing politicians strut around praising the tough stance that supposedly keeps us safe, ignoring how it terrorizes citizens. On the left, too many bite their tongues, calculating that a full-throated challenge might cost them votes or alienate swing donors in a fractured landscape. Courts toss out band-aid fixes like temporary halts on excessive force, but then the appeals crawl along at a snail's pace, leaving folks vulnerable while lawyers argue. Media outlets blast the scandals for a hot minute, rake in the clicks, then chase the next shiny story, letting the outrage fade. We're left scratching our heads, wondering why the Constitution we swear by feels like a relic in a glass case, not the active armor it's meant to be against tyrants. If those at the helm truly stood for us, the hardworking families scraping by, the dreamers fighting for fairness, the everyday heroes demanding basic human respect, Trump would have been yanked out of power way back. His whole operation of yes-men and schemers would have crumbled under the weight of accountability. The 25th Amendment would have been dusted off and deployed when the instability hit fever pitch, sparing us this descent into division and death. But no, we get a parade of alibis, endless postponements, and fresh grabs for more control. This isn't bungling, it's straight-up collusion. The machine shields its own gears first, the elite players second, and tosses scraps to the rest of us if we're lucky. Enough is enough. We can't sit idle, acting like these safeguards are fairy tales while the toll mounts on our streets. The Constitution demands action. It's not a pick-and-choose menu. Real accountability isn't optional. It's the heartbeat of our democracy. When a so-called leader wages war on civilians through twisted policies and inflammatory words, when agents take lives without ironclad checks, when the very defenses against dictatorship gather cobwebs, that's not liberty. That's a profound sellout, a stab in the back to every value we hold dear. We deserve so much more. We deserve representatives who tremble at the thought of betraying the public trust, not ones who cozy up to chaos for clout. We deserve a framework that snaps into gear precisely when threats loom largest, protecting the vulnerable instead of the villains. Until we rise up and insist on it, with our voices thundering, our feet marching, our bonds unbreakable, we'll be trapped in this ludicrous loop, watching history repeat its ugliest chapters. If you also support democracy and freedom, feel free to join me in this fight. Click follow, click subscribe, and join me. Divided we fall, and together we can knock down mountains. Through unity is the only way we can make a change. Thank you, stay safe, God bless, I love you all. Crowning Thoughts, True Speaker, Copyright 2025 by Santiago D.C. Maria, licensed under Creative Commons Attribution.